You guys hear me? Can you 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 hear me now? You guys hear me? Nice. 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 All right. Check this out, ladies and gentlemen. I just downloaded this. This is the Rain Man. This is the Rain template. So it's pretty cool. You can start it up with starting. Short break. Just kidding. Just kidding. We're gonna end it. Sorry, you guys. This was a short one. It was a minute and 52 seconds, but I love you guys. And now we're offline. Goodbye. Just kidding. Hi, guys. How's it going? Check this out. How cool is this? All right. I don't know exactly how to change everything just yet. Uh oh, for some reason I'm on the mono channel. Hold up. Properties. Perform. Down mix to mono. Okay. I think. Yeah, there we go. It's like, yeah, my left ear loved this. Thank you. We could do comedy. Okay, so I was testing something out, actually. And it was not working. So what I was testing out was, I need a main scene, actually, with just my face. I'm sorry, bear with me for 1 second. Let's see. Camera. We're just going to call this camera. All the way up here. And it's just going to be the Windows capture. No. It's just going to be. Where you at? Video. There we go. Add source. Camera. There we go. Oh. Can you just hear everything? Is that how that works? Hold up. Let me turn this up. Can you just hear that? Oh, you can.
Oh.
You can. That's totally fine with me. All right, let's go down. Let's turn off this Evo 8. Delete that one. All right. Okay, what's up, guys? How you doing? All right. So, what happened? Oh, this is cool. I got a total running count. I can see there's 4 viewers. What's up, 4 viewers? Good to see each and every one of you. All right. What happens if I click on that? Bam. And then I click back on this. Man, all right, cool. Maybe I need to do a little bit of teasing that out to make this transition a little more smooth. But I'll tell you what, I appreciate you guys jumping in. I got the multi-strat. Yo, what's up, Read Away? Thank you so much. Queasy. Queasy with the Quasar. Yo. Yes, I am about to read. Indeed. I am going to indeed read. Hold up. I don't, man. You guys are new. I'll have to sub. All right, so what's going on here? I wanted to let you guys know what's going on with what I just figured out. So check it out. Check it out. I got this right here. I'm playing online as I'm listening. Dude, what's up, Jake? Good to see you. Welcome in. Welcome in. I see a lot of friendly faces, actually. I don't think that I've met any of you guys before, so this is pretty sick. Legal U.S. states for the win. Legal U.S. state. What does that mean? Legal U.S. states. I'm playing online. Dude, sick. Love to see that. What are you playing? All right, so what do we got? We got a little chat over here. We got a little chat box, so that's pretty sick. We have a border. We got strong borders here on my channel. So we got that going on around me over here. So I don't know if that's. I mean, it looks pretty cool, but let's see if it gets fucking annoying. What else? We've got a bar up top to showcase what our goals are for the stream, I guess. I think the goal bar is up there. So we got the bits goal, we got the sub goal and shit. So stay tuned for that. I don't know how that's going to update or if I got to do something to it, but Streamlabs is pretty sick, not going to lie. All right, so this is my recording stream. This is basically what I'm going to be reading as I'm doing this audiobook, but we also have a brief intermission. Queasy, dude, your chat doesn't appear on here for some reason. What is the deal? I don't see why not. All right, so I kind of wanted to showcase how my sales have been doing, actually. So we got 24 sales this month, which we are at the last, second to last day here of July. So this is a good spot to be like, hey, check it out. This is how pretty much we've done throughout the month. We got 24 sales, which is pretty sick. Most of those are the Baccarat and the Blackjack book that we made. But we also have 4 of them with the Red Light Therapy Revolution. So shout out to you guys for helping me out and buying those projects. I think I made people significantly more money than I made myself. I think I made other people like $150 or something, and I think I took home 20. So that's how that worked. But 24 sales, let's put that into perspective. Let's go back 2024. This is how we've done thus far throughout this entire procedure, throughout this entire endeavor. And as you can see, October, we got our first sale going up to 7 in November and then 10. And then we were just steady on our rise. 17 was the peak before. It sort of trickled down to 11. Jump back up to 23. That was my highest sale month back in May. Down to 20. And then this month we are up. This is the highest I've had all time. So shout out to you guys. Thank you so much for all the support. We got 24 sales on here, so we love to see it. 1 qualified return, so it's all good. If you don't like it, please return it. If you don't like it, please return it. That's all I can ask. All right. That's what we got. So I just wanted to do a little housekeeping there, and that's what we're sitting at right now. So I wonder if I can, with Streamlabs, incorporate this graph into what I'm doing, and maybe even have like a real-time graph of what's going on here, so you can interact with it and help me out as an audiobook narrator. Let's go to the record stream. bam, this is what we're working with. And I'm partly doing this so I can watch it on the playback and I can see, does this sound get interrupted as I go between scenes? How does it sound at the beginning when I only had that one channel? Now with the mono down mixing, how does that change things? So I think we got it all set up, though. This is pretty sick. You love to see it. Okay, what do we have? We got a star, we got bits, we got money, and we got follower. So I think I have to like configure that to like show you guys what the goals are. But apart from that, where were we? Yo. All right, this might fuck things up because I'm doing the internal monitoring. So I'm going to double check to make sure the sound isn't duplicated, and it is. It is. All right, I'm going to turn that one off. I'm going to turn Logic Pro off for the time being. I'm going to make a mental note. To turn that back on if I'm showcasing what I've done so far. But being that it took me like 2 hours to figure this out and really get the settings dialed in. For anybody who was watching it before, I didn't have the settings set up to where it could screen share. And I still haven't figured out how to share audio. It's so weird. I can't share audio. So we'll see what's going on with that. But way better than what we had it before. What are we reading tonight? Let's check it out. What are we reading? We're reading this book over here. We are continuing our project from before. We're going to my projects. If you guys remember in the saga, we've created 9 so far. This is the 10th in the series. Our last book, Blackjack and Craps, 21 Winning Strategies to Beat the Dealer, is in review right now. That was submitted July 19th. So my goal was to complete this project while that one was in review, and then I would have 2 in review. I've never had that before. So we'll see how that's actually going to go because, first of all, my 15-minute checkpoint is still in review. Come on, Nat. What are we doing, Nat? But this is the book that we're working on tonight. So this is going to be Poker Math for Advanced Players, High-Level Odds, Equity, and Game Theory for Serious Players. Also, something that just dawned on me. I just realized that I could probably have this broadcast the text that I'm reading somehow. So I'm going to try and incorporate that as well. Mental note, do that later. Mr. Pullman at some point. All right, so this is my first 15. I've got it on here. I could play it. All right, that's for my future self. If I heard anything there, I didn't hear anything myself personally. I didn't see like the volumes change. So I don't think it can broadcast the sound just yet. Got to figure that out. But this is the book. Let's give it some credit. Steve McMasters. This is the book we're working on tonight. So let's do at least one chapter. Okay, let's see. So we got, this is pretty sick. All right, so I'm looking at how long I've been live. So 15 and a half minutes, 4 viewers. And I wonder if that's putting together from all sources. For 1, for 2, and then for 3. if you're on Kick, I cannot see your chat. I'm so sorry. If you're on Kick, I still can't see your chat. Um, let's see. At least I don't think I can. Streamlabs goes way too slow to like alter anything while you're doing it. So it's like you have to press the button and then like, oh yeah, so I've pressed a button. And anyway, so about that. All right, let's see. Oh, cool. Cool. So it can read comments too. If anybody wants to do a super chat, I think super chats will be read. I think Twitch TTS will be read. But I don't want to make any promises. I'll give you your money back if it doesn't. Sorry if it doesn't. But yeah, that's where we're at right now. So you can post comments through YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook pages. Okay, buddy. Oh, that's pretty sad. So it won't actually pull in the chat from TikTok. Oof. Not that we can broadcast just yet, but when we do, that's going to be sad. I was going to try out Twitter too, but yeah, it is what it is. Wasn't working. All right, enough Stalin. Enough Joseph Stalin. Let's get to it. All right. You guys ready for this? Bam. How cool is that? How cool is that? Lila gave 50 bits over on Twitch. Thank you, Lila. I appreciate you, Lila. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I can replay it as much as I want. Check it out. Except it doesn't play the sound. I would have liked it if I could replay the sound. Unless it does. Okay, I can't tell if I just missed that or not. Or nah. Alright, what do we got? Bruh. Alright. There we go. Dude, that's sick. Alright, let's do it. Alright, so I got the chat up here. So I could read that from Twitch. But then I also have the chat down here that pulls in from YouTube. Perfect. Exactly what I want. Would be best if I could actually get Kick as well and then pull in from Facebook or whatever. But whatever. Here we are. And here we go. Poker. We're playing poker tonight. How's your poker face, guys? How is your poker face? What are we learning? Chapter. They're fucking equations. All right. Whatever. Equations are the bane of my existence. I did a coding book, and you gotta really learn how to narrate code. You gotta create your own fucking. All right. Anyway, let's do it. Your own style. That's how I would finish that. Your own style. Chapter 5. Chapter 5. I don't like that. Chapter 5. Advanced pot odds, implied odds, and reverse implied odds. All right, let's see. Um, I don't like how fat this thing looks. Probably gonna bring that down a bit. And this chat is huge. Probably gonna put it like there. Yeah. And then what else? What else? It'd be best if I could put like a script like literally right there. So you guys could read what I'm reading as I'm reading it, and then you guys can read it back to me, and then we'll read together. You know, it could be like a big reading club. You and I, do or die. Like a bunch of reading rainbows over here. Bunch of reading rainbows. You and I will find the pot of gold. All right. When you're in the heat of the poker battle, sometimes it can feel like every decision is a tightrope. Sometimes it can feel like every decision is a tightrope walk between risk and reward. Advanced pot odds, implied odds, and reverse implied odds are the tools that let you walk that tightrope with confidence. Are the tools that let you walk that tightrope with confidence, all while maximizing your profitability and minimizing your mistakes. If you want to level up your poker game and start thinking like a true professional, this chapter is your roadmap to mastering these key concepts. This chapter is your roadmap to mastering these key concepts. All right. All right. Ariok says, I'd let you dominate me. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I would. And I would. and I would. All right, let's see what we got. The basics. The basics the basics revisited. Pot odds. Before we get into more before we get in to the more advanced concept. How about like before we get in to the more advanced concepts, it's got to flow though. It's got to flow into it. Before we get in to the more advanced concepts, let's quickly refresh ourselves on pot odds. If you're already familiar with pot odds, feel free to skip ahead. But for those who need a quick refresher, here's the quick breakdown. Pot odds are the ratio of the current size of the pot to the cost of a contemplated call. Simply put, pot odds tell you whether it's worth calling a bet based on the odds of based on the odds of completing your hand and winning the pot. Here's a basic formula for pot odds. Pot odds equals amount to call current pot size over current pot size. Okay, you guys can't see this, but they literally, this dude wrote in here like some code that just appears as a text. I think he wrote that in so that like it would create the image of whatever equation he was writing, but it's just like amount to call current pot size / text bracket pot space odds close bracket equals / frac bracket open bracket / text open bracket amount to call close bracket. Yeah, that was definitely not intentional, but whatever. If the pot odds offer better value than your hand equity, then the likelihood of your hand will win. If the pot odds offer better value than your hand equity, the likelihood your hand will win, then it's usually a good call. For example, if the pot is $100 and you have to call a $20 bet, your pot odds are 5-1, meaning you need to win at least 1 out of every 6 hands, since 1 over 6 is 16.7%, to make the call profitable. But in real-world poker, it's rarely this simple. That's why implied odds and reverse implied odds come into play, making you a more formidable force at the table. Implied odds taking future betting into account. Implied odds go beyond the immediate pot odds and consider the future bets you stand to win if you hit your drawing hand. This is especially useful when you're facing a big bet, but still have the potential to hit a strong hand on later streets, like a flush or a straight. Okay, all right. I think we've done a good job of like warming up to this point. I think we've done a good job. I think at some point I'll create like different sections for warm up, and then what I'm doing to warm up. Maybe even I might make a scene for warm up. Who knows? But I think that's probably the best way to do it. I wish I could just like screen share from this tablet over. That'd be even better. Yeah. Let's get a quick drink, but Ghost hydration, ladies and gentlemen. Get yourself some ghost hydration. Use gamersupps.gg/Tom Dark. Use Tom Dark. Use Asmongold's promo code. Use it's gamersupps.gg/Asmongold. Just go ahead and put that in and save 90% off your purchase. It's Toast Supplements. Check it out. All right. All right. Implied odds are the future potential payouts that could justify making a seemingly risky call. Implied odds are the future potential payouts that could justify making a seemingly risky call now. In other words, you're betting not just on what's on you're betting not just on what's in the pot now, but on the money that will go into the pot later. Let's break this down. Let's break this down with a visual example. Example 1, implied odds in action. You're holding a 9 and 10 of spades, and you're in the big blind. The pot is $80, and your opponent bets $20 on the flop. The board shows 7 of spades, 8 of spades, 3 of diamonds. And you have a straight draw and a flush draw. And you have a straight draw and a flush draw. The current pot size is $80 and your opponent's bet is $20, making the total pot size $100 if you call. Pot odds. Pot odds. $20 to win $100. 5-1. This means you need to hit your draw. This means you need to hit your draw 1 in 6 times for the call to be profitable. For the call to be profitable. But hold on, your hand has massive potential. If you hit your flush or straight, you could win much more. You could win much more than the pot. So even though your pot odds are 5-1, your implied odds could be significantly higher. If you complete your flush or straight, your opponent is likely to put in additional bets that you can win. This is where implied odds shine. You're not just calculating whether your current call is profitable. You're also factoring in future action. If you believe your opponent will bet more on later streets, you could justify making the call. You can justify making the call even though the pot odds alone don't seem to offer a winning equation. Reverse implied odds. The dark side of drawing hands. Reverse implied odds are essentially the opposite of implied odds. They come into play when you're holding a drawing hand. when you're holding a drawing hand that has the potential to improve, but can also lead to disaster. Reverse implied odds help you assess whether chasing a draw is too risky, especially if your pot odds seem favorable. For example, if you're drawing to a flush and your opponent holds a full house, and your opponent holds a full house or four of a kind, you might improve your hand, but still lose to them. You might improve your hand, but still lose to them. The concept of reverse implied odds accounts for the potential loss you could suffer if you hit your draw but lose to a stronger hand. Let's dive into a visual example of reverse implied odds to illustrate this point. Example 2, reverse implied odds in action. You're holding a queen of diamonds and a jack of diamonds. And the pot is $150. The board shows 10 of diamonds, 6 of spades, and 4 of clubs. Your opponent bets $50. You have an open-ended straight draw, and if a 9 of diamonds or king of diamonds comes, you'll complete a straight or a flush. However, there's also a risk that your opponent is holding a set or better. If you hit your straight or flush, you might still lose the hand. The current pot size is $150. Dollars. All right. The current pot size is $150 and your opponent bets $50. So, the total pot size is $200. Your pot odds are 4-1, meaning you need to win at least 20% of the time for your call to be profitable. Bro, we can't have that. We can't broadcast that to Twitch. NME, we cannot broadcast that to Twitch, man. What are we doing? I feel like I gotta add that to a list or something. I would not do that. To answer your question, like legitimately, I would not do that. I would never do that. And I wouldn't because my life is fucking amazing and I love it. And I love living every single second, every single iota of it. I love everything about me. And it's a beautiful existence. And I would never do that. That's my answer to that. That's my answer to that. I fucking love myself. I would never do that. do. I think we go to. My inventory, right? No, probably up here. Yeah, no, seriously, dude. I love myself. I love myself. I have a well, I'll say that I have a unique existence in that I I had a really good there's just so many different things like I had a poor childhood but with like really loving parents. So I grew up like with very little expectations but like completely loved in every sense of the word. Um I grew up with a lot of siblings. I have like two brothers and a sister. So, you know, surrounded by people that love the shit out of me. And nobody's ever really expected anything out of me. Nobody's been like disappointed. I could be as wild and off the wall as possible or as like tight and conservative and not really expressive at all in different parts of my life, you know? So, yeah, I love life. I love life. I've had so many things. Let's get back to poker hands. Poker hands, yeah. I'm just trying to figure out how because I can't have that on Twitch. I can't have that on Twitch, but I do want the chat to be on there. It's in some meaningful capacity. Chat box. Ooh, here we go. Yeah, I'm new to delete me back to two viewers. Dude, I can't do it. I can't do it. I don't think I can. Cause I could refresh chat on here and it'll refresh my list, but I can't refresh everything. Cloudbot? Is it Cloudbot? Dude, I've never used Streamlabs before, so I'm like trying to figure it out myself. Uh, word protection. Restrict words from coming on chat. All right, let's put in buy a rope. Let's let's add that one. I don't think we've had to add that one in yet. Commands, quotes. Add a quote. That'd be funny. It just tells everybody to do that. Like, instead of adding it to the banned words, I add it to like the things that it often says, and so it just says it to everybody. That would be funny. What a fun twist. All right, create bot account. Dude, this is lame. I don't want to do this. I want somebody else to do this. Ooh, how about this? I got it. I got it. I got it. I'm pretty sure I could do moderation on this. So if I go into it, bam, dude. All right. Does it disappear on the chat though? This is a good test case. I appreciate it. Thank you for this. Because I got to know how to do this. I got to know how to moderate. It doesn't. Uh, uh, uh. right. That might be the move. That might be the move right there. Hide it and then bring it back. All right. Because if I type on Twitch, it appears on there. All right. Okay. Sick. I love it. I love it. All right. Thanks for adding Buy a Rope to the library. I appreciate it. You mother dude. Pinwheel of death over here. Turning that off. Oh, okay. And then turn this off. Dude, check it out. Perfect. Perfect. Reverse implied odds. All right, we're back. We're so back, guys. We're so back. Thank you. I needed that exercise. Dude, this is the problem. This is the problem. When you buy viewers, this is the problem. Because it's always like a thing, for like people starting out. They're like, dude, should I buy viewers? Obviously, it's illegal for Twitch policies, right? I would never do it personally. But it has crossed my mind where I'm like, I could see the inclination to do it because a lot of the times chat will move so slow that even myself, I'm like tempted to be like, okay, well, how do you get it to the point to where there's enough chat movement to where you don't feel weird putting your chat out there? I don't know if you guys ever feel this, but me personally, when I come into a live stream on TikTok and there's nobody typing whatsoever, and then I put my stuff in there and they can't help but like hyper fixate on whatever the fuck I'm saying. I'm like, dude, can you please just move on to something else? Like, I feel super weird being here. I don't know if that's like a common experience, but I just, it kills the end user experience for me personally. So it sucks because there's like this uncanny valley, this space where you want to put stuff out there and you want to build an audience, but the audience can't really participate just yet without being like hyper fixated on. So like there's this inclination for the creator to fake the viewers and fake the chat so that people will put their chat in. They won't feel weird about it. I wouldn't do that personally, but I do feel that inclination. However, the thing that is bad about that is that you can't like really drill in your performance and you can't really drill in how you're going to put things together in a way where you can interact with people at this stage. Like I had somebody come in the other day and they basically said, I felt bad because you had 2 viewers, and they popped in and we had a good discussion, right? But you don't have that connection if you jump to 60 viewers or whatever they put in and they falsify. You also don't get to like get good at moderating your own stuff, I feel like. So, I don't know. Is that Dr. Hollister? Yo, Gavin the Maker? Yo, is that Gavin the Maker right now? Dude, hold up. Wait, yeah. Actually, it is. It actually is Dr. Hollister. Hold up. Wait, you've been checking out my IMDb, sir? You checking out my IMDb? That's apparently in pre-production, but I haven't heard anything from it so far, and it's been like a year and a half since they extended that role to me. So, we'll see. The girl that I follow, who's like the lead character in that, and she's been in a ton of other stuff as well. She, I think she's been posting a lot of her on set, and I'm always like double and triple checking, like, okay, she's on set right now. Is she on set for the thing that I'm supposed to be on set for? Am I not getting the messages for the thing I'm supposed to be on the set for? Like, I'm in such a weird middle ground where no one's gonna reach out to me, and so I have to keep up with the group chats and just hope that I'm part of it. You know, because quite literally, for anybody who doesn't know, I'm an actor and I've been in some stuff. If you go into IMDb/me, no, IMDb.me/EDP, you'll get the very few things that I've been in so far. But uh, hopefully, I'm going to be growing that list here soon. So, if you got a opportunity to put your boy in a film, I'll drop everything. I'll quit my job right now. I will. I will do it. I will do it. But yeah, I'm excited for the Dr. Hollister one. That's gonna be really sick. The uh, the film seems pretty cool too. So just being involved with actors at that stage is a really fun time. I'm also studying audio engineering for film and digital media. I love that, dude. Please. That's awesome. I'll slide you in. Yes, absolutely. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. Audio engineering for film and digital media. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think what schools offer that. We have a local school called Webster University where a lot of students come out of, and I've been involved with some student projects from there. Uh, yeah, I'm always down for it. I'm always down for a project. Audio engineering sounds pretty sick, though. I'm always looking for good editors myself. It's very difficult to find good editors. Good editors that like it won't break your bank. You know, that's very difficult at my level. I paid $300 for somebody to edit an audiobook that didn't sell a singular copy. Like it literally sits at zero sales right now. So I'm at a net loss of $300 for that. And it sucks because it's like, you send 3 hours of audio to somebody to edit down to 1 hour of completed audio. And that's a lot of work, honestly. I do it all the time and it sucks. Like, I don't like editing. So I totally get it. I would charge a lot of money for it too. But that's a lot of money for not making any money back. The return on investment was absolutely an L on that. So it's just like little situations like that that make me hesitant to look for any editors. But if I can find myself in a position to where I'm making content constantly and I'm always creating things on a stream that then are made into a video at the end of the day, and I had this like really nice pipeline of content creation and could incorporate other people, and I knew the editing that I wanted to ask for, then I'd probably do something like that. How does one edit an audiobook? Just remove silence and yeah, actually kind of. Or do you need comedic timing? You do need a lot of timing for sure. I wouldn't say it's necessarily comedic timing, but you do need like really good pacing for it. Oftentimes you'll hear like as I'm going through this, like my pacing won't be exactly how it turns out. What I do is I'll go on to, I'll sort of show this, but so why does this constantly want to show my stream key online? Can you not show my stream key, please? Okay, I got to think about what I'm gonna show. Oh, Descript. Oh yeah, and I made a cryptocurrency, guys. Check it out. There's a cryptocurrency here. If you go to soulscan.io, you can check me out. I'm a cryptocurrency. I'm a token. I'm a So the token name is Pullman, so check it out. I made myself a crypto. I'm like the only holder in it, so I will rug pull you if you do buy it. All right. So no, but For real, for real. I use this program called Descript. I love this program. Rug pull, yeah, facts, facts. I will 100% rug pull you. Because 2 seconds is funnier than one. Wait, what? Oh, that's fine. Okay, I get you. I get you. This thing is called Descript. I love it. Basically, what you do is you upload these audio files at the very end to this database, and this was chapter 1, for example, and I uploaded chapter 1. What it does is it turns it into a transcript, and you can edit with that transcript, so you can like select the words on here and like delete them out, or like you can use the AI to remove retakes, shorten the word gaps, which are the two main things that I use all the time. But like if you're making videos, if you're like setting this up and you're creating an actual like video with a camera and everything, you can actually do some cool shit like correct your eye contact. You could do a green screen. You could generate images, blur the background. You can dub it. So you can dub it in like Spanish or Portuguese. Um, Wait, can you give me your life story in 5 minutes or less? Uh, I could even be like shorter than that, to be honest. But in short, I love this thing. I love this thing. Descript is an absolute game changer. But through this, you can actually like change the timing on everything. You can remove all of the filler words. Not filler words. You have to stay true to the script. You remove all of the space between the words, the excess space, and then from there you further remove it and you create that timing, that pacing with it. So that's kind of behind the scenes. That's what I use. I use Descript, and I fucking love it. Yeah, if I get my life story, you know, born in Missouri, born not probably like lower middle class, I would say. Probably lower class. Upper, yeah, can you say upper lower class? Can you say that? Can you say upper lower class? It's probably that, you know. I had an estimated family contribution when I went to college of 0. So if that tells you anything about my financial situation at that time. So grew up in Missouri, upper lower middle class. No, more like lower, like upper lower class. I lived in a subdivision. That's okay. Yeah, I lived in a subdivision. That'll probably tell you. I lived in a subdivision for a little bit of time, and then my mom moved into like a trailer park community. But yeah, I grew up in that environment, and then didn't really learn much in high school. Went to college, went to community college, cheapest option, love it. Um, Started studying acting, but then went to the more lucrative option of chemistry. And so I started studying chemistry and then biochemistry. I wanted to know how chemistry interacted with the body. And in that, I graduated with my degrees in chemistry and biochemistry from Southeast Missouri State University. While I went there, I lived in my car. It was a good time doing that. I actually really enjoyed it. It was freeing. It was very freeing living out of the car and then showering at the rec center. That's what I would do. I would spend all day at the library in between classes, and I would teach at the library as a tutor. So that's kind of what I would do to earn some gas money, and then I would work at Trader Joe's on the weekend up in St. Louis. So I did that for about 7 years, and then I graduated with chemistry, biochem, and worked as a chemist I did that as well as working at the grocery store for I don't know. That was like right when COVID hit, so probably about like 2 or 3 years I did that. And then I started my master's program, got my master's in chemistry, and then after I said, dude, I want to get back into creation. I want to get back into content creation. I want to learn how to put videos together. I want to be in movies and shit. And so I started. I contacted Images Agency. I learned about images from way back in the day, and touched base again, and got into some commercials, got into some background work, got onto ABC with a good friend of mine, So I'm on a episode of What Would You Do? I went to LA to uh, showcase my abilities and hopefully get picked up by some sort of agency out that way, and had a lot of interest. Won a shitload of awards, but had to kind of come back and return to my roots and see, like, how can I incorporate everything that I learned, and how can I reorient myself toward better creations and better acting and better performance. And one of the things was audiobook creation. Through audiobook creation, what I can do is I can actually hone in on my speech patterns. I can really hone in on my delivery of speech. And in doing so, I think that I can create better characters that way. So, it sort of serves a dual purpose, really dual three purpose, a three modular purpose thing, because for one, I can broadcast to everybody. I love doing that. I love talking to people live. I've done it since Blog TV back in the day. My hands are up on Blog TV. I did Blog TV. I did Battle Cam back in the day as well. So I love the live setting of it all. And the only reason why I'm on TikTok is to do TikTok live. So I just do that all the time. So it serves that purpose, live, being able to talk to everybody. But then I can create these and show how the audiobook creation process is like behind the scenes to everybody that wants to see it, everybody that wants to watch it. And then three, I can get better at my performance as an audiobook creator. And then four, that's a passive income source. So, serves a lot of purposes, to be honest. I like what I do doing this. I don't think I'm that good at it, though. So I'm always trying to, get better. I'm always trying to, I don't think that I'm necessarily, as I'm saying this, I don't think I'm entertaining enough. And then so I'm, trying to figure out, how do I say this, but in a more entertaining manner? Or how do I incorporate, a twist to it? How do I set up an expectation that I subvert at some point? Or what could I do to improve the end user experience of somebody who stumbles upon the Twitch stream as they're browsing through, looking at Aspen Gold's stream, and they're like, you know what? I think that this guy's got a cool setup over here. I want to check out what he's got going on. How do I, at that point, capture the attention of somebody who has their finger on the swipe? They're moments away from leaving. How do I, at this one tangential moment, capture the attention? And it's I don't know, that's always something that sticks with me. And so and with that, I don't think that I'm necessarily that entertaining. So I'm always trying to improve the way in which I entertain. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that looks like. I don't think that anybody ever does, but it's a reality you confront moment to moment, and you change yourself into, I think, whatever I'm going to be at some point on here. And I hope that it's something good. I hope that it's something great, to be honest. But at the current moment, I'm just doing me and seeing where that takes me. I love it. I love it. Sheesh. 2:14 in the morning. All right. How much longer are great stuff? Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate you tuning in and talking. And I know it's I was just talking about the end user experience of coming in with very low viewership, coming in and not having a lot of people to bounce ideas off of, or not a lot of flow to the speech. There's this idea in my mind where if I show up to a TikTok live stream and there's maybe 4 people in the chat and nobody's talking, nobody's talked for the last 10 minutes, and I put in my chat and it just sits there for like 5 minutes, and then they say it and I keep seeing them look down to look for more chat, but then there's no more there, and so it's just my one chat that I put in. It's like it totally kills the ability to engage with the audience. And well, no, being able to enjoy the live stream just the way it is, unadulterated, in my opinion, it just totally kills the end user experience. So I'm sorry that it is at that stage, but I think that if I'm consistent from what I've seen, I can probably get just a little bit of movement here soon. But I know it's a fair bit awkward, so I appreciate you sticking through all of that. Just at the current moment, now the real question: what are your daily macros? I don't pay attention to that at all, to be honest. I don't pay attention to any of that. I maybe used to, and I would put it into the MyFitnessPal, but I just try to focus on minimizing sugar and maximizing protein. Those are like the only 2 things I really care about. I think that if you make something as simple as possible, you will do it as often as possible. So, like, I approach anything like that. Like this setup, I have this setup, and it's constantly up because if I keep it up, then I can just walk down and walk in here, and that's it. Then I can start. But if I have to set this tent up every single time that I want to record, there's a bit of resistivity to it. And the more things that you have to include or set up or toggle or turn on or configure before you begin, the less likely you are to actually do it. So make it easy, and that'll make you do it often. And so I approach everything in life like that. I approach my work like that as a chemist. I approach my food like that, my daily macros. And so literally, like, if I could just break it down to eat dark leafy greens, limit sugar, maximize protein, whatever that looks like, that's all I do. And then, like, working out is the same way. If I just get to the gym, I'll figure it out. Like, I don't have to have a plan. I don't have to write things up. I don't have to have like a split. I just show up and I see what machines are not taken, and then I do those machines. And, like, as you can tell, I am not a large man. I'm not a big dude. So that has its downfalls in that I'm not as disciplined and I'm not as focused as I could be, and I'm not as big as I could. But the upside of that is it works for me. I'm not overweight. I go to the sauna often, and I just enjoy my time while I'm there. I couldn't tell. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah. My brother is pretty big. My brother, he probably got me more into the gym than anybody else. My older brother. Just he set that expectation, like, you should take care of yourself. So, stuff like that. It's good to have people like that in your life. I'm gonna guess you are 5'11". Thank you for that. I appreciate it. I am 5'10". That's a good guess, though. I tell people that I'm 5'11" as a joke, but I think yeah, when I had Tinder back in the day, I think my bio was like 5'10" because everyone knows 5'11" doesn't exist. Because if you're 5'11", you're gonna say you're 6 foot. Like if you're truly 5'11", you're gonna be like, it rounds, it rounds. But if you're 5'10", I think you kind of stay true to that. I don't think you get any added benefit of saying you're 5'11". You know what I mean? There's like that middle ground. I don't think anybody says that they're actually 5'11", because if you do, you would just say you're 6 foot, and nobody 5'10" is gonna like stretch themselves out to 5'11". Uh, so yeah, I'm 5'10". I'm 5'10", but yo, I'm 7 foot. You got you crushed, dude. War baby, that's crazy. That's crazy, war baby. 7 foot would be. I wouldn't be able to be inside of this booth right now if I was 7 foot. That's crazy, dude. If I was 6'4", I would be struggling in here. 7 foot would be insane. My dad is 6 foot. I think it's like 6'4". I think he's 6'4". But yeah, you say being taller is a curse. It kind of can be. It kind of can be. My dad, you know, the thing of it is, people that are shorter live longer. So that's like the double-edged sword. You live a better life in that you make more money and that you're, selected for by your sexual partners. But uh, honestly, I fuck with 5'10". I think 5'10's all right. I think 5'10's all right because like you're not so tall that people like go out of their way to make themselves known. Like it's not tall enough to like be like, yeah, I'm 5'10". It's like literally average. That is an average height. It is slightly above average. Compact and efficient is 5'8" is definitely compact and efficient. 5'8" is you should focus on your career. 5'8" is not fun for the dating world. No, I'm joking. That's probably 5'6". It's probably 5'6". I'm probably thinking 5'6". 5'8's not bad. 5'8 is literally average. That's literally average. 5'8 is it's just below average because average would be 5'9", but it's as different from the average as I am at 5'10", so that is very, very, very average. 5'6" is unfortunate. 5'6" is my job is moving planes. Dude, got to go in the cockpit. That would be insane. You look like Shaq. You ever seen Shaq in that tiny car? I think what Shaq did is I think he removed like the first two seats in a Volkswagen, and he sat in the back. He lives in a Hobbit house. Pff, dude, I wish. He's over here looking like Gandalf the Grey. Yeah, I think he bought a car where he sits in the back. I want to see if I could actually pull that up. There we go. There we go. Dude, Shaquille O'Neal in a smart car though. Am I thinking of the right guy? I'm pretty sure I am. Because like Shaq is massive, dude. Dude. Can't even spell right. Hold up. or whatever, dude. It's the Brave chat. I'm on the Brave chat. While I'm listening to this, I'm online MTT final table. What is MTT? What is MTT? MTT. I guess we could Google it, find it out. Wasn't it Yao Ming? Dude, Yao Ming. Let's see. Let's check out Yao Ming. Well, first let's check out MTT. Dude, I don't know what that is. It's showing me a bunch of cellular biology. Hold up. Oh, it's an assay. Dude, what? Is it actually? Are you performing an assay right now? Water soluble MTT. Oh shit, what does that stand for? The MTT assay, a calorimetric assay used to measure cell viability. Dude, are you measuring cell viability right now in cytotoxicity? The MTT assay works by utilizing the enzyme mitochondrial dehydrogenase in living cells to reduce the yellow tetrazolium dye, MTT dehydrogenase, to insoluble to purple formazan. I don't know how to say that. The dude, I had instructors that would say hydrogen, so like these people that will give you slack for pronouncing things wrong, and they're like, yeah, I don't know, I read it somewhere, I don't know how to pronounce it. Dude, I had PhD professors, experts in the field, call that shit hydrogen. Dude, it doesn't. At that point, I was like, it doesn't matter how you say words. They're just words. I know what you mean. You know what you mean. That's all that matters. You can say it however you want to say it, honestly. The document outlines the principles, reagents, procedures, troubleshooting advantages, and disadvantages of the MTT assay. Dude, that's pretty sick. That's pretty sick if that's what you're doing to measure cytotoxicity, the loss of viable cells. MTT is multi-table tournament. Oh. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to diminish that. Dude, that's awesome, man. That's incredible. That's phenomenal. MTT is multi-table tournament. Online MTT final table. What is multi-table tournament? All right. Well, hey, there you go. Oh, dude, wait. Are you talking about poker? Because I'm reading a book on poker. It could easily have been poker. Dude, that's awesome. You actually hold. Oh, man, I should get to the point then. If you're playing at a multi-table tournament, dude, all right, cool. All right. I see you. Top price is $10,000, dude. All right, you need poker math then. And I'm over here yapping away. I'm speaking Japanese. Come on. Oh. I'm yapping away. Am I on the right? Yeah, I'm on the right scene. All right. Well, dude, good luck for $10,000. And hey, if you win it, don't donate. Don't donate here. Don't. Just like there'll be signs. You know what I mean? Just somehow start driving like Shaquille O'Neal mobiles. The Shaquille O'Neal mobiles. All right. Let's get down to business. All right. I read all of that. I'm pretty sure I read all of that. Let's see, where does this say I was? Oh, you fucker. Okay. Okay, I could see it, but I sort of heard an error there for a moment. Let me. Second out of 5, dude. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Love that war, baby. Congratulations, man. How about this? We'll make it rain in the chat if you win this, dude. Make that first place so far, dude. Holy shit. Q Joe cracks AA. Facts, facts, man. Holy shit. Dubs in the chat for war, baby. Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Let's go. Your pot odds are 4-1, meaning you need to win at least 20% of the time for your call to be profitable. However, if you hit your draw, let's say a 9 of diamonds comes. Let's say a 9 of diamonds comes. You could potentially win a nice sized pot. But if your opponent has a set or better, hitting on that card might give you a hand that loses the pot. Hitting that card might give you a hand that loses the pot. There we go. All right, we got how long have you been playing poker? I actually don't play poker. I don't. I'm making an audiobook based on a professional poker player, but I've only played poker with like my dad and my family. That's about it. I play very, very low stakes stuff, you know. So like I only have a very basic understanding of everything, but I'm reading an audiobook of a guy that is a professional in his field. So like that's the I'm the guy that's good at reading. That's about it. Should play more home games. Hell yeah. Or play some local 1/2, 1/2s, $1/2, $1/2. Yeah, maybe. Maybe I was thinking about because I have a book on blackjack and baccarat, and so reading those books because I revisited blackjack recently. I was thinking like, well, it would be kind of cool to just like play that a little bit and see how my skills have advanced given the audiobook. See if a little bit of what I've read would rub off on me. The thing that I don't get about this though is I don't know, maybe some of the more technical terms. Like I'm good with math. I'm very good with math. I can go up to calculus, but the introduction to differential equations, linear algebra, for example, basic matrices and stuff like those. So I'm good with math in that regard. Like any applicable thing that you can think of in real life, except for where the rubber really starts to hit the road, which is differential equations, and then an entire world opens up to you, and I haven't opened myself up to that world yet. Yada yada, but so I'm pretty good with math, as much mathematics that you would probably need for this, but I don't know. Some of these terms like with the river or like somebody brought up like a monster or whatever. I have no idea what that is. Just certain technical terms where I'm like, I don't. This could be a mistake, but I'm gonna read it like it's not, because maybe I just don't know what I'm talking about. I went from first to fifth. No, dude. Oh, I should have kept yapping. It was probably the yap. It's probably the app. Dude, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Went to first to fifth. L's in the chat. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't pile on. That sucks. I'm sorry. Queen 5 offsuit cracks JJ. Damn it. You win some, you lose some. Eliminated won $700 from a $100 buy-in. Dude, that is phenomenal. That is absolutely phenomenal. That is fantastic. Congratulations. Holy shit. You earned $600 tonight. That is something to be proud of. Damn. Damn, that's good. Yeah, that's the thing about card games like poker and blackjack and even baccarat, to be honest. You know, these are games of like, not only, it's not just chance, it's not just like slot machines. Like it is an element of skill to it. You can play the game better or worse depending on your skill level and the people at the table as well. So, dude, that's phenomenal. You should definitely be proud of that. Congratulations. Where are we at? Where are we at with this? Where are we? Who? Hold up. I wonder if I can. No, I cannot. No, I cannot. All right. Damn. Okay, hand that loses the pot. My keyword is a hand that loses the pot. All right. Turn the internal back on. The infernal internal. Gonna buy me a three-piece suit, dude. You should. You should step back up in that place, looking sharp, looking snappy, looking snazzy. You know, You could probably do the full Steve Harvey with that. Get a full-on three-piece suits. If you go to Macy's, if you hit up Ross Dress for Less, you want to go to Ross Dress for Less. No, dude, hell yeah, that's incredible. Yeah, $600 is nothing to sneeze at. That's pretty sick. That's pretty sick. I love that. I think I've only been to Vegas once. It was 2016 New Year's, and when I went there, I think I bet about $20, and I think I almost lost it all, and then I gained it all back. I think I gained like $22 back or whatever. I said, that's it. I'm going to walk away. I'm never betting again. And that is the last time I bet. But, dude, $600 is insane. That is insane. Hell yeah. This potential loss is accounted for in, I don't like that. Hold up. This potential loss is accounted for in reverse implied odds. You'll need to decide whether the potential to lose a large amount of money if you hit your draw is worth the risk. It's a little choppy. Choppy. You'll need to decide whether the potential to lose a large amount of money if you hit your draw is worth the risk. In many situations, reverse implied odds In many situations, reverse implied odds will help you fold these marginal hands and avoid dangerous situations. Calculating implied and reverse implied odds. The math. To properly evaluate whether you should call a bet, you need to compare the pot odds with the implied odds, and reverse implied odds when applicable. Let's go through the math behind these concepts so that you can calculate these odds quickly and effectively. Step 1. Pot odds. Pot odds. The formula for pot odds is simple. Pot odds equals amount to call over current pot size. Current pot size. Amount to call divided by current pot size. For example, if your opponent bets $50 into a pot of $150, for example, if your opponent bets $50 into a pot of $150 of 150, the total pot size is $200. You would need to call 50 to win 200. So the pot odds are 4 to 1. So the pot odds are 4 to 1. Okay. That's pretty good. Step 2. Implied odds. Implied odds are a bit more complicated because they require you to estimate how much more money you expect to win if you hit your draw. The formula for implied odds is implied odds equals amount to call divided by current pot size plus expected future bets. Let's say your opponent is likely to bet another $100 on the turn if you hit your draw, making the total pot size $300. Let's say your opponent is likely to bet another $100 on the turn if you hit your draw, making the total pot size $300. You need to call $50, so your implied odds becomes implied odds equals 50 over 20 plus 200 plus 100 equals 2 to 1. Now, the implied odds are 2 to 1. The implied odds of 2 to 1. Now, the implied odds of 2 to 1 are far better than the pot odds of 4 to 1, which suggests that calling might be a good decision. Yo, $500 suit and then going to Aria. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, just get a little bit of something, a little touch of the high life, and then Aria would be pretty sick. I think I've been there once. Maybe. I think the newest hotels were like the Wynn hotels. Those were pretty sick when I was there last. But that was like almost 10 years ago. I guess I got to go back. Dude, this is funny because like you're calculating implied odds, but they're saying let's say your opponent is likely to bet another 100. Like I feel like aren't you implying that you don't know? Aren't you by saying like your opponent is likely, like aren't you admitting that you can't perform this calculation because you aren't sure? I don't know. I don't know. A lot of cute elites. Yo. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Love that. Yeah, this the upper echelon, right? The upper echelon. They got some genes to them, don't they? Oh, dude, I'm so close. Dude, I am so close to the end. I got like a page and a half to the end. Yeah. All right. Cool. Cool. Because I was thinking I was going to be up for like a lot longer, and I was like, how much longer am I going to be up for? This seems like not that long. Not that long. As a poker regular, I just focus on my hand strength. Yeah, yeah, that sounds about right. And possible bluff spots. Okay, okay, yeah, yeah. See, that's the thing. I could definitely see that. This book is like trying to get across that there's a mathematics to it, and it's like somebody who is deeply entrenched in the mathematics of things as a chemist. I'm often confronted with like the reality of the situation and knowing definitively what something is or is not. And so when I look at something like your opponent is likely to bet 100, to me that says like, well, who says that? Like, what stops the opponent betting 200 or 250 or 300? Like, how? It's interesting to me that you're utilizing mathematics in this way when you're not exactly sure of the variables to be inputted into the mathematics. I don't know. I don't know. For me personally, I wouldn't do all that. But Aria, I will tower and find my future prospect. I love that. I love that. You will. I'll put it out there in the universe. You will. You will win. You will win yet another 500. 500 is insane. I love that. All right. Let's see. We could do this. We could do this. We're almost at 3 in the morning here. We are almost there, guys. We are almost there. I'm happy to have almost completed one chapter though. I will say. Last time we were on here, we completed 4, but we immediately came on, started broadcasting, and it was back to back to back to back. So I'm cool with one. Hopefully, we can wrap this up tomorrow night. That'd be pretty sick. You're a chemist. Damn, flexing the mind. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. I'm a chemist. I have my bachelor's in biochem and chemistry, and then my master's in chemistry as well. And I mean, it's. I think it would be a lot better if I didn't work in quality control. Quality control is very, very repetitive. I'm a firm believer that literally anyone can do what I'm doing now. And it's that if you're given a script of what to do from 1 to 10, you could just perform every single step back to back to back. And I don't think it takes a lot of brain power whatsoever to put that all together. Sort of does to conceptualize it and to know what you need to do to complete it, but it's you literally just follow directions. It's the most simple thing to do. The thing that stands in your way is like, do you have the reagents? Are those available? If not, then like maybe you have to make them. Like I couldn't do my test earlier this week because we didn't have this reagent that we needed to make in house. So I like to make it to where other departments will make it, and then I'll use what those departments make because they use it in large quantities, and I only use a tiny amount of it. So I try to make it. So I try to coordinate so they do most of the work because they use most of the product, and then I just siphon off whatever. But there are ways that you can approach that in a different way. Maybe you make it every single time yourself, which is a way to do it. It just takes substantially longer. So, like the way in which you approach the script from 1 to 10 is that could utilize some brain power. But like, in my opinion, dude, anyone can do what I'm doing. Literally any singular person off the street can do what I'm doing. It is so. I feel completely underutilized. I'll say that much. How old are you? You don't look a day over 20, dude. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you. I am actually 30. I am 30 years old. I am 30, but don't let them know that. Don't clip that. Don't clip that. I don't know. I don't know how. I think it's probably important for people to know like what 30-year-olds like look like, act like, stuff, this, that, and the other thing. Like, I think it's important to have a better mental image of what 30 is, but because to me, it's the midpoint between 20 and 40, which, like, duh, right? Logically, that makes sense. But, like, to me, it really is that, because if you think about it, like, 20 is you're youthful, you have so much vitality to you, but you're poor as shit. You don't have anything. For me personally, I lived out of my car. Like, so that's where I started. And then 40 is like you've got like you have your own house. You live in your own place. You don't really do much. You go to bed at 9 every day, whatever. Like, you're living the adult life at 40, I feel like. And obviously this isn't like 1-to-1. Everybody doesn't have this existence, but like the way in which you mentally conceptualize it, 20 years old, you're going out to bars, you're enjoying life as a young person, you're hooking up, it's a great time. 20 years old, phenomenal. 40 years old, you're like settled down, you're married, you probably have kids, you have your own place, like you're at home. You're at the club, you're at home. Two different things. 30 years old is like the thing in the middle, right? Where you have the vitality from youth, but then you also have the funds of 40 years old. Like you have kind of like you're on your way. So like I'm used to paychecks of like several thousands of dollars, right? And that's like, oh, that's cool. Like I can fund my lifestyle. The lifestyle I've always wanted as a 20-year-old, but could never afford because I'm living out of my car. But you don't have the complete financial stability. You just have access to the thing that gives you financial stability. So like you kind of always working, but like you still have the vitality of youth to pursue those goals that you've always wanted to pursue as a kid, the funding to back it up, but also kind of not as much energy as you used to have because you're constantly tired from work. It's this like weird middle ground. It is an exceptionally weird middle ground. But I appreciate you saying I don't look a day over 20. I need that seriously for like the agency stuff, the acting and modeling. I definitely need to have that range. Look 20, but can act 30. Me at 30, I'm hoping I'll be a captain. Oh, hell yeah. On an Airbus A320 for my airline. You will. You definitely will. I mean, if you set your sights on something like that and you work towards it, it's not even an if, it's a guarantee. It's just when is it going to happen? I got quite a few years to go. I mean, you got quite a few years anyway, so it seems like you are working your way towards that goal, and that is the only thing that matters. Even if it's like the most incremental thing possible. Like when I was doing my master's program, for example, like I was with people that would take like literally one class a semester, two classes a semester. Me personally, I think I was on like two or three. But like working professionals, they work at that level where it's just like I just need to incorporate one thing a semester. And if I do just that, then over time, the success is a guarantee. And no matter what, it's not going to stop you from doing just the smallest amount of effort. But the consistency over time is going to like outpace competition that gives up halfway along the way. Probably dreaming though. Nah, dude. Reality will probably be a captain of a CRJ 900. Uh, I actually have no idea what the difference between those two are. Um, an Airbus is probably like a higher capacity thing, and then a CRJ. I couldn't tell you what a CRJ is. Definitely need some flight logged hours. I looked into becoming a pilot at some point because I have exceptional vision. I have exceptional vision with 2010 vision. Just blessed, good genes. I can't help that. It's just it is what it is, and I love that I was given that. But um, it was one of the things that I considered as a kid and to go into becoming a pilot. And I remember looking into it, seeing that your flight log hours will change depending on which airline you're with, and that really like bugged me, where it's like, yeah, you have like 2,000 logged hours with 2,000 logged flight hours with Delta, but now you're going to Southwest because Delta's doing some layoffs, and now you got to start from square one. That doesn't. What do you mean? What do you mean? I love the idea of transferable credits. Like accreditation of education is really like that, where it's like no matter where you go, you're always going to take my English class because it was accredited through an English program. Or no matter where I go, you're going to take my acting class because it was accredited through some sort of other program. Like transferable credits are the only thing that makes sense to me because I know that even if this fails, I can go somewhere else. The thing that bugged me was like, okay, well, if I have all of these logged hours, how come I can't transfer those credits somewhere else? If I have 5 years in pharmaceutical industry, right? Like that can those are transferable skills to something else. You might not have 5 years of experience in manufacturing, but like you have lab skills from 5 years that can transfer. Like, so even in my field, it's like there's a level of transferability. And I didn't know why that wasn't the case. Or maybe I read into it incorrectly, but that's what I seen when I looked into it back in the day. Captain of an Airbus makes 200 holy shit. Holy shit. $200,000 $300,000 on average. Captain of CRJ is like 140. 140 is phenomenal. 140 is a phenomenal salary. It really is. 200,000 is insane. 300,000 is insane. Yeah, if you make 140,000, like you can support a family by yourself. If you make 300,000, you're well on your way to create generational wealth. Yeah. Most of us though, we're sitting around like the 60K to 80K range, right? And it's unfortunate because like I don't know, it's right there. It's right there. It's right there. It's right there. If you could just push it a little further. All right, where were we? Where were we? I think probably might be a good decision. Yeah. Yeah. All right, there we go. Step 3. Reverse implied odds. Reverse implied odds. Reverse implied odds are more about protecting your stack. Your stack. Reverse implied odds are more about protecting your stack. You need to weigh the potential loss for if you hit your draw, your draw, which can be hard to calculate, precisely. However, you can estimate reverse implied odds by considering the probability of your draw completing, the likelihood that your opponent will have a stronger hand if you hit your draw. If you hit your draw. If you're drawing to a flush and your opponent has top set, hitting your flush could still leave you losing the pot. This danger should be accounted for in your reverse implied odds. If the reverse implied odds are unfavorable, for example, the chance of hitting your draw is low, and you're likely to lose, a large amount. If you do, you should fold. Gotta head to bed, moving some A330 and A350 jumbo jets tomorrow. Keep climbing, dude. Thank you so much for popping in. Congratulations on the massive win tonight. That's $600, right? $700. I think it was $500 after expenses. That's incredible. Congratulations on the huge win tonight. You deserve it, and an honor to make your connection this evening. Very, very, very nice to have seen you. So thank you so much, War Baby, for popping in. Sweet dreams, and good luck tomorrow moving those massive jumbo jets. I appreciate your viewership. Thank you. And thanks for the awesome commentary in here as well. We need the poker commentary because a lot of this is confusing to me. So I appreciate it. Thank you very much, and we'll see you later. All right, let's see. Putting it all together. Let's walk through an example where all three concepts pot odds, implied odds, and reverse implied odds come into play. Example 3, putting it all together. You're in a heads-up pot and you're holding. You're in a heads-up. Let's see. How do I approach this? You're in a heads-up pot and you're holding 8 of spades and 9 of spades. The pot is $300 and your opponent bets $100 on the flop. The board shows 6 of spades, 7 of clubs, and 10 of spades. You have a straight flush draw. You have a straight flush draw. You need to hit either a 5 of spades or a king of spades to complete your draw. You need to hit either a 5 or king of spades to complete your draw. To complete your draw. You need to hit either a 5 or king of spades to complete your draw. To complete your draw. The pot odds are 3 to 1. The pot odds are 3 to 1, meaning you need to win the hand 25% of the time to make a profitable call. To make a profitable call. The implied odds are very high because if you hit your flush or straight, you could win a massive pot. If your opponent has a strong pair or if your opponent has a strong top pair or worse, they will likely bet again on the turn and river. So you can assume an extra $200 in implied odds. In implied odds. Reverse implied odds are low because if you hit your draw, it's very likely you'll have the best hand. Your opponent is unlikely to have a stronger hand unless they're holding a set or better, which is relatively unlikely in this scenario. Decision. Given the favorable pot odds, implied odds, and low reverse implied odds, you should make the call and choose your draw. In this chapter, we've explored advanced poker math concepts, pot odds, implied odds, and reverse implied odds. And reverse implied odds, and how they can transform your decision making, and how they can transform your decision making process at the poker table. By considering not just the intermediate pot, but also the future betting and the potential for loss, you can make more informed and profitable decisions. Remember, poker is about more than just odds. It's about making decisions based on the information you have. It's about making decisions based on the information you have and the information you can gather. Mastering these concepts will give you an edge over your opponents, allowing you to play with a deeper understanding of the math behind every decision. In the next chapter, we'll continue our deep dive into advanced poker math. In the next chapter, we'll continue our deep dive into advanced poker math, exploring advanced equity calculations, advanced equity calculations, and how to use them to dominate your opponents. Get ready to take your game. Get ready to take your game to the next level. All right. I felt like I couldn't put in that that level of gusto, that level of oomph, that level of get ready to take your game to the next level. First of all, ain't nobody want that these days. But in the event that they do, I've got it in me. I just don't have it tonight. Sorry about that. Get ready to take your game to the next level. Get ready. All right. Yo, what's up, Jack Wall? Good to see you, Jack Wall. What up, dude? What's good with you? What are you up to, dude? Bro? Dude, bro? Hold up. I'm going to pull this up real quick. I'm going to go to channel. Hit you with the sub. Then I go back and then go to channel. Hit you with the sub as well. Nice. All right, what else? What else? Then go to channel. Oh, that's awesome. All right. That is so funny. Dude, that is so funny. All right. Dude, these are old accounts too. These are like actual people. That's pretty sick. Sorry, I'm just talking to myself here. I'm just talking to myself. But thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it. Chatting. I don't know why we were on that. This has to have like some sort of border to it or something. I feel like this scene doesn't necessarily fit any longer. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you guys. I don't know what to tell you. But this is new, and we're gonna make it better. And I think that tonight, like, we did a pretty good job of figuring out how to put this all together and how to have all of the chat like appear in one location. Loved what's going on with Streamlabs. Shout out to Streamlabs. We have, what else? We also had bam. We had Lila cheer on for 50 bits. Thank you so much, Lila. I appreciate the 50 bits. That's super sick. I love now the ability to showcase that people have cheered me on like that. We've been going for about 4 hours. The only thing is that this one specific video has only been going for, I don't know, maybe like just over 2 hours, but I spent 2 hours of that trying to figure out and diagnose and troubleshoot and put this all together. So we're good now to just jump right in next time. And I think in the meantime, I'll try and toy around with some things, see if I can add some more oomph to the end user experience. Appreciate you guys for jumping in. YouTube did a phenomenal job of putting this out to a lot of people. A lot of people seen this tonight. I looked at the impressions. I think it was like, I don't know, like I think 19 people viewed my last one, and I think the impressions were up to like 200 or something. So YouTube put this out to a lot of people, and I was very surprised. So thank you so much for the kind people at YouTube for pumping this out to a lot of people. Thank you to everybody who joined. I see that there's 6 people viewing, so thank you so much for everybody viewing this tonight. have this split over from Twitch and then also on YouTube. Okay, I'm just kind of going back and forth to see it all. But I wanted to take a moment to appreciate you guys for listening. Hold up. Oh, okay. It does actually. Okay. Yeah. It does actually broadcast this. For a moment, I was just like, wait, it doesn't have my mic on this scene. Am I actually talking? I'm so conditioned for Prism where like if one audio input isn't on one scene, then you have to like add it to every single other scene or else it doesn't it won't catch your mic, and then you're speaking into nothing for 10 minutes and then nobody's there to be like, "Hey dude. Hey. I can't hear you." So, appreciate you guys joining in and letting me know and allowing me to have a fun night talking with you guys. I really appreciate it. I always have a fun time doing these lives, and speaking with everybody in here is one of my favorite things to do. So thank you so much for popping in and enjoying some time with me, and we're going to make this better each and every time that I come up and do it. So thank you. Expressing so much gratitude, but I love you guys, and I love this, and I will make it better every single time. That is my commitment to you, and that's the only thing, and the only thing that I could ever expect is honesty and transparency, and that's it. And if you could just give me that, we'll have a good thing going. Love you guys. I'll see you on the next one, and shout out to you, Streamlabs. Thank you so much for having a great intuitive process to figure this out with. Love that. So